What fact about the opposite sex did you learn embarrassingly late in life? Had a friend who only figured out what a clitoris was in a game of Cards Against Humanity at the ripe age of 26. He was the one judging the cards in a game with 3 guys and 4 girls. Someone played the clit card. He read the card aloud and goes, "I don't even know what that is." Awkward silence ensued. Never felt so bad for someone in my life. Not necessarily the opposite sex. But I was having my boyfriend feel a weird part of my belly button and he said, "Man, they must have pushed yours in wrong," and I was like, apparently he thought that doctors push the umbilical cord in when you're born and that's how belly buttons are made. H is 21. Boyfriend is 28. He thought we carried around little containers of Vaseline to lube up the tampons before inserting them. He also just found out that some tampons have cardboard applicators. He was horrified on both accounts. Isn't that uncomfortable? Already commented this, but he also just found out that maxi pads stick to your panties and not your body, like a giant band-aids. I dated my now husband in high school, and had an embarrassing attempt at a first blowjob. I didn't really watch porn, so I literally just started kissing it no tongue and then asked if it felt good. Not really. He still married me. As a child I thought sex was one moment of penetration and then over, like you roll around and kiss. Then the guy sticks it in once and the sperm comes out and sex over. I was basically getting ready to have sex for the first time when I learned that the penis is in the whole time thrusting. I didn't know about the thrusting either. I just thought that you fell asleep connected and the sperm would slowly come out due to the term sleeping together. A long time ago in my late teens, a girl asked me really uncomfortable questions and she admitted she was an open book. I asked if she masturbates. She said no. Girls don't masturbate. I believed her for the longest time until I met my ex, which then revealed she did. It was a combination of embarrassment and anger on being trolled. Took me until high school to realize that the penis needs to get hard in order to enter the vagina. The sex ed we had in grade school was okay. It talked all about the reproductive organs and what they do, but nothing about how actual intercourse worked. I spent too long wondering how the heck a floppy penis was supposed to get inside that small hole. I may be female, but I identify as a chocolate Pop-Tart, so take that for what you will. You take the eraser end of a pencil and just push your penis in there with it. Oh my gosh, so that's what people mean when they say they need a rubber for sex. I had always thought a woman had her period once a month, so I had it in my head that it was like a cell phone bill where it was every month on a specific date like the 15th. I didn't know that men ejaculated. I don't know why. I was in for a big surprise the first time I had sex. I was 19 years old. Not about opposite sex, but still kind of fits the criteria. I have a friend who has one testicle. When he was born, he had one removed due to birth complications, urethra wrapped around it. I think his parents never mentioned it to him, so as he grew, he believed having one testicle was normal. As he got into middle school, other kids kept making jokes about balls. He thought they were funny because of how people referred to multiple testicles and just played it off as part of the joke. In 7th grade, he discovered porn and realized the men in the videos all have 2 testicles. He confronted his parents in a really awkward conversation afterwards. For those who are curious, the one testicle grew larger to carry the weight of missing the other one. It's roughly in the shape of a gently flattened ball of Play-Doh. Breasts are soft. Being a loner meant I never felt any, and I assumed they are like muscular or something, not stiff, but firm nevertheless. Like a bag of sand. A friend in high school never paid any attention in sex ed. He was 18 years old when his girlfriend told him her period was late. He thought it was weird. A few days later she told him it's okay. I got my period, he said EWWW, and went on his merry way. Told a couple of chick friends how his girlfriend was acting strange. We had to explain the entire process of conception to him. He was absolutely fascinated, so we went all out with vagina diagrams. Pregnancy, birth, periods. He would ask questions about it all day for months. Good friend of mine had testicular cancer. Recently another friend made a comment that his wife must be so happy to not have to deal with balls anymore because they just hang there and it must be so much nicer looking. She thought that the entire ballsack was removed and he was just left with a penis. Hymens aren't little vagina freshness seals. My wife thought men pull their pants all the way down at urinals and asked if it wasn't weird to see all those butts anytime I had to take a leak. Fun story. I'm a med student tying for anatomy and we were dissecting the sex organs earlier this week. I asked one of the professors for help finding some of the structures so I could show the students what we were looking for. I said, I'm woefully uneducated in female anatomy, which is unfortunate as I am a female. His response was, it's okay, you'd be surprised the number of guys who don't know it's called a scrotum and not just balls. That the tampon string just hangs out there, making a girl look like a party popper. Yank it and you get a surprise. My exes used IUDs for contraception that pretty much stopped their periods. At 24, my current girlfriend is my first real exposure to a regular menstrual cycle. One time while getting intimate, she says, by the way, I have a tampon in me. I ask, but what's it still doing there? Well, I thought you use it like a pipe cleaner and then take it out. My wife's manager, single male, 56 plus, made a comment 3 years ago that if you get PMS cramps and blood during period, you should see a doctor immediately. The entire office still made fun of him till this day. Being a young kid, I used to hump my bed to get off. It's because I had Cinemax in my room, and my parents didn't know, so I got to watch Passion Cove all the time. I figured, hey, he's doing this to that pretty lady. I can just imagine she's under me too. Now obviously I was shooting blanks, and for the longest time I thought this is always how it would be. Well, was I in for a surprise the first time I ejaculated. I was so mad that I had a mess to clean up now. I miss the days of rattling them off with nothing to worry about. Till I'm not the only one who started masturbating before they were producing semen. Nope. It's a thing. It's just wonderful, and not at all uncomfortable, when you have to tell your kid that it's something done in private and not in the middle of the living room. Way goddamn late to the party, but I posted this before and wanted to share again. I used to think my testicles were my unborn kids. Like one day they would hatch and bam, I would have 2 kids. I was always confused when I saw people with like 8 kids, and wondered how he walked before. A girl I know that I used to fool around with has a 5-year-old son now, not mine. We were talking one day and I don't know why it got brought up, but she called him a little pervert, and that all guys are perverts. I ask why, and she explains that we constantly think about sex at night because we wake up in the morning with erections. She called her 5-year-old son a pervert for having morning wood. I had to explain to her that it's something we literally can't control. Doesn't matter what we are dreaming about. There's like a 99.99% chance we are gonna wake up with a rager. She still didn't believe me. I thought penises got slimy and slippery when men were about to have sex. I have no idea where I got this idea, to be honest. When I was 16 and was fumbling through my first-hand blowjob, I remarked on how soft-skinned and dry his dick was. TBF. It would make sex a lot better if the whole penis lubricated itself as well. Men would die of dehydration if they got wet with every erection. Not the opposite sex but of my own sex. I watched Robin Hood, Men in Tights as a young child. They have a part in the movie about circumcision. Basically they make a joke that circumcision is done with a mini guillotine. So for years I thought circumcision was cutting off the tip of the penis. In middle school I was in the locker room and noticed a penis with no tip. This only confirmed my suspicion. I assumed he was circumcised and I was not. In hindsight I realized that the foreskin was covering the tip and he was actually uncircumcised and I was circumcised. It wasn't until high school when I told my first girlfriend I was uncircumcised and she had to explain to me that I was not. Some guy in the locker room and a short bit in a movie were not good evidence to argue my case. But on the upside, I get to tell this story about once a year and it always gets a laugh. I had to explain to my female friend that when you orgasm you do not ovulate. She is 25 and was afraid of having sex because she didn't want to waste her eggs. I couldn't figure out why it's so common for men to pee on the seat and the floor around the seat. Is it that hard to aim? Like, how the is this such a thing? Then I had a son and potty trained him. I remember the moment it clicked. He pointed it one way and the pee went a totally different direction. It defied logic. Split streams are the bane of any man's lavatory experience. That's a sentence I didn't think I'd be writing today. I thought periods were a one-and-done type thing, not a monthly ordeal. It made me wonder if my teacher was crazy sentimental when she said her daughters mark it on their family calendar. This Sunday will be period day, when we celebrate the memory of when I bled from my vagina that one day 16 years ago. Didn't you two write a song about that? In my mid-30s, just found out that penises don't have two holes. I thought there would be two different, pipes for the two different fluids. You're semi-correct, they do start in different places. They just connect on the way so they can exit the same place. It's like when two highways converge. Sure, you can take Interstate 90 from Wisconsin and Interstate 80 from Iowa, but they both combine in Illinois, and instead of going to Gary, Indiana, they both exit out the tip of the penis.